Hello everyone, in the series of UGC NET 2020 solved questions, our today's topic is theory of computation. Now there were 9 questions from Automata. So our first question is, consider the following languages. L1 equals to a raised to the power z bar raised to the power z. Now this z bar or z dash, this symbol is an integer. Now let us say for the sake of simplicity, we are representing this symbol as k. Okay, so our language will become a raised to the power k raised to the power z. Next, L2 equals to a raised to the power z into z dash, so it will become a raised to the power z into k. And last one is L3 equals to ww. Okay, now which of the languages is or are regular? So we need to decide whether a given language is regular or not. Now see, this first language, a raised to the power k raised to the power z. Now this is very clear that this language is not regular, because in this we need to remember something. So this one is not regular. Next, a raised to the power z into k. Now this is regular for any k starting from 0. And last one, w into w, again this is not regular. Okay, because we need to remember first w string. Whatever characters we have in w, we need to remember them because we need to repeat them again. So only L2 is regular. So right answer is 4, L2 only. Now due to a lot of printing confusion, this is declared as marks to all and UGC official answer key. Next question is, consider L equals to L1 intersection L2, where L1 equals to 0 raised to the power m, 1 raised to the power m into 2, 0 raised to the power n, 1 raised to the power n. L2 equals to 0 raised to the power m, 1 raised to the power n, 2 raised to the power k. Then the language L is, option 1 is recursively enumerable but not context free, regular, context free but not regular, not recursive. So we need to determine type of language. Now see, in L1 we are given 0 raised to the power m, 1 raised to the power m. Now again we need to remember number of zeros because we need same numbers of 1, right? So this language is not regular, this is context free language, right? We can implement it using PDA. Next is 0 raised to the power m, 1 raised to the power n, 2 raised to the power k, where m and k greater than equals to 0. Now see, we are given a power of something, but still we need not to remember something, because all these powers m, n and k are different. So this is your regular language. And we all know that intersection of regular and CFL is always CFL. So right answer is intersection of L1 and L2 will be context-free language but not regular. So answer is 3. Next question is, let L1 and L2 be languages over AB represented by the regular expression. Okay, we are given 2 expressions here. Which of the following is true with respect to the 2 languages? Okay, we need to determine the relation between L1 and L2. Which one will be the subset, or whether they will be equal or not. Okay, now just pause the video. You can solve it yourself. This is very easy question. Just try to create few examples and see. If we are creating few strings of L1, can we create same strings from L2? Now you will see that whatever string L1 can create can be created by L2. You can try few examples yourself, but at the end you will see that L1 is equals to L2. All strings created by L1 can be created by L2 also. So right answer will be option 3. Next question is, now this is very interesting question. Consider the following regular expressions. R equals to A into B plus A clean star, S equals to T. Okay, we are given 3 regular expressions. Choose the correct answer from the options given below based on the relation between the languages generated by the regular expression. Now, you can see from these options, we need to determine which one will be the superset, which one will be the subset. So let us try to create few examples. First, we are taking first regular expression R equals to A into B plus A clean star. Now here you can see A will be present in all strings, B plus A clean star. Okay, so B and A can occur any number of times. So our language will be A, then A, B. Now A will precede all strings. So we can say that this language can give all strings starting with A. Now let us move to next string, S equals to A into A plus B plus. Now here see, A will precede all strings, but between A and B you have to take at least one alphabet or one character. That is the significance of this plus. Okay, this is the difference. So our language will be A, B, etc. So we can see that this language S, LS, it cannot give A, right? We cannot generate only A using regular expression S. So we can say that this language is a subset of language R. Next is T equals to A clean star, B. Here A and B are fixed. That in every string, it will start with A and end with B. In between A and B, you can have any numbers of A. So your language will be LT equals to AB, AAB, AAAB, and so on. Now this language cannot give you A and ABB, right? A from language R and ABB from language S. So we can say that LT is a subset of LS. So we can see that LR is a superset and LT will be on the lowest position, right? So right answer will be option 2. Just pause the video, do it yourself. This one is also very easy. Next question is, which of the following statements is true? The union of two context-free languages is context-free. Now to solve this question, let us see under which property context-free language is closed. Your CFL is closed under union, concatenation and clean star. So first is union of two CFL is always CFL because CFL is closed under union. Next, the intersection of two CFL is context free. No, because CFL is not closed under intersection. This is very clear. All you have to remember is CFL is closed under union, concatenation and clean star. The complement of CFL is context free. Again, no. If a language is context free, it can always be accepted by deterministic push down automata. Now this is also incorrect and this is very important statement. See, DPDA or deterministic push down automata accepts only DCFL, deterministic context free language, not all CFL. So right answer is option 1. Next is, given below are two statements. The problem is L1 intersection L2 is empty, is undecidable for context sensitive language L1 and L2. The problem is W belongs to L. Membership problem is decidable for context sensitive language L. Now both statements are true. Why is it true? Very soon I will upload a video covering decidability of all languages and their properties. Okay, from there you can learn among which properties a given language is decidable or not. Okay, next is, again this is undecidable problem. Let G1 and G2 be arbitrary context free languages and R an arbitrary regular language. Which of the problems are undecidable? First is LG1 equals to LG2? This is your equality problem in context free language. Next is LG2 is a subset of LG1. This is subset problem. And last one is LG1 equals to R. Whether a given CFL is regular or not. Now all these problems are undecidable. Again, you will learn this from that video that I will upload very soon. So right answer will be option 4. A, B and C all are undecidable. So there were two questions in this exam from undecidability problem. Our next question is, match list 1 with list 2. Okay, in list 1 we are given recursively enumerable language, recursive language, CFL. In list 2 we are given some languages with some properties, where LR represents regular language, LCF, context free, this is simple. LREC, it represents recursive language. LRE represents recursively enumerable language. Okay, these are some notations. Now we will start from list 2. In list 2, first is complement of recursive language. Now we all know that complement of recursive language is recursive itself because it is closed under complement property. Now union of recursive and recursive enumerable language is recursive enumerable language, right? So right matching will be with A. Next is complement of context-free language. Now context-free language is not closed under complement. We have seen it in previous question also. Complement of CFL is recursive language. So it will become recursive. Recursive language, union recursive language. Now recursive language is closed under union, so it will be recursive language. So its matching will be option B. Done. Last, there is left only one matching, that will be this, but still we will discuss it. Now intersection of recursive language and context-free language is always context-free language. This is very important property, so this will be our right matching. Next question is, now this is our last question and very interesting question. Which of the following grammars is or are ambiguous? We are given 3 grammars A, B, C, and we have to tell whether a particular language is ambiguous or not. So we will take one language at a time. First is S gives SS, S gives ASB, BSA, lambda. Now to check ambiguity of a language, the best method is derivation tree. We will try to create 2 derivation tree for same string. And if you are getting 2 different derivation tree for same word or same string, then that language is ambiguous, else not ambiguous language. So let us try to create 2 derivation tree for a string lambda. So we are given S. Now there are 2 options. We have to create tree for lambda. So let us say this is SS. Now for S we can put it as lambda also. So this is a derivation tree, and at the end we will get lambda as a string, empty string, or we can put it like this. Again we will get lambda as our final answer for this derivation tree. So we can create 2 derivation tree for same string. So this language is ambiguous. Clear? Next language is S gives ASBS, S gives BSAS, and S gives lambda. Okay. So let us take first production. S gives ASBS. Okay. Now I'm creating 2 derivation trees side by side. For this grammar, we will try to create derivation tree for ABAB. Okay, so I'm creating 2 trees side by side. Now see, we have 2 S here in both trees. For one S we will put BSAS, for second S we will put ASBS. Just say it. For first S we are putting BSAS, and last S we will put it as lambda. Now for all S we are putting lambda. So at the end we will get ABAB as output. Now in second tree, in first S we will put lambda. In second S we will put again ASBS. Done. Now in place of S just put your lambda. Now at the end again we are getting same string, that is ABAB. And if you are getting 2 derivation tree, 2 different structure for same string, this is ambiguous. And yes, grammar B is also ambiguous. Now let us see last grammar. Here we are given S gives AAB, A gives BBB, B gives A or lambda. Now first is S gives AAB. Again we are creating 2 derivation tree simultaneously. Now see, here we have A. For A we have only single production, so there is no option, just put that production in the derivation tree. Now at this point we have 2 B's, right? Now in B productions we have 2 given productions starting from B. One is B gives A, B gives lambda. So at one point we will put B gives A and another we will put B gives lambda. So let us see. So first we are putting B gives A, right? And in next B we are putting B gives lambda. And we will reverse this rule in second derivation tree. So on first B we are putting lambda and on second we are putting B gives A. Clear? This might be a bit confusing. Just take out your notebook and pen, try it yourself, and you can easily solve this question. Now for A we have only a single production, B, 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 right? And for B we will put lambda. Same we will do here. A gives B, capital B and small b. For B we will put lambda, right? Now here your string will be A, B, 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 B. And same string will be generated from right hand side derivation tree. So we are getting same string from two different derivation tree. So again this language is also ambiguous. So all languages are ambiguous in this question. And that was our last question. I hope you learned something from this video, and if you have any doubt you can always ping me. Thank you all for watching this. If you liked our video, share and subscribe.